Now, the Phillies are in a cold streak here. We know that. But the umpiring,
Mm.
it seems like since the All-Star break, this is the second time now in 3 nights where a very critical pitch,
Very.
you can't say that it would have changed the outcome of the game, but it was a critical spot. Estevez the other night and last night, Brandon Marsh's strike 2 call were atrocious. Just
Atrocious.
flat out terrible calls. What is the likelihood of a challenge system coming? From the tea leaves I've read this year, it doesn't appear like it's a given, but it seems like there's more demand than ever for it, and the umpiring is almost getting worse.
I don't know if the umpiring is getting worse. I think the box makes you think it's worse. When we didn't have the box, we probably didn't. He probably didn't jump out at you as much. A miss. There's a lot there. I mean, I don't know why Marsh didn't react a little bit to that pitch, because the Phillies at Dodger Stadium were in the first base dugout, and nobody really barked on that pitch either. At least what I could tell.
Rob should have gone out. Like
Huh?
I thought he should. I thought watching the game live that Rob should have left the dugout and gotten a piece of his ear, because
maybe,
it's happened
maybe
too much.
You don't leave the dugout until you get thrown out. But
Sure,
I was surprised.
Should have stood up, I should say.
I was surprised nobody started shouting from the dugout, because that was egregious. Now, you had a left-handed hitter. He might have been blocking the view a little bit from the first base dugout, and the hitter didn't really react, at least as I was able to see it. I think the hitter should have kicked a little bit there, kind of just wore it, and then a nasty breaking ball off the plate, and lefty on lefty. It's a tough pitch, and we know he has trouble with lefties, and the team chases a lot, and boom, strike 3. It was an egregious miss, as was the Estevez call the other day. Now, Estevez missed his spot. He was set up and in, and he missed down and away. Nonetheless,
couldn't frame it. Yeah,
it's a strike. The umpire needs to be able to adjust, because he's focused on where the target is, and it goes. Still, you gotta, both of those were critical calls. I don't think the umpiring is worse. I just think we have more technology that illuminates their misses more. And like everything, also with the technology, now we have replay basically all over the game. We have TVs all over the ballpark and replaying every close call. So everybody in the ballpark knows when the umpire blows a call. People in the boxes, the press box, the luxury suites, behind home plate, concession stands. This TV's everywhere. So, why not have the replay like we have? So the only guy in the ballpark that doesn't have access to at least get it right. And we've seen countless examples how it would change history. 85 World Series, the Galarraga perfect game. So we do have replay and ways to make calls right, correct human error, and it's coming. The challenge system is coming. It might not come in 2025.
What would be the delay? Is that the umpires union? Like, what is that holdup?
I don't think the umpires union has nearly the juice it used to have. It's an association. They used to have juice. I don't think they have juice, as much juice anymore. They work for Major League Baseball. The leagues have been dissolved. I think the delay is just figuring out a system that works for everybody. But I do think you'll see something like we're seeing similar to AAA. Where, I think this is probably the issue. How many challenges do you get per inning, per at bat, per game? I think they need to work that out. What is the consequence if the umpire got it wrong? But we're going to see a situation probably in the next couple of years, maybe 26, where Brandon Marsh, okay, he didn't want to gripe with the umpire, but he's just going to tap his head or raise his hand or do a shimmy. But I would think he'll tap his head and the umpire and boom, and get something in his ear, strike. We need to see it, because that was a huge pivotal play last night, and that was an egregious miss up.
Was that his shoulder?
Yeah.
Not a hard call for an umpire.
No.
It's not down. That's got to be that. That was a horrible call and had game-changing implications, as did the Estevez.
Dates back to Pittsburgh too, Jim. I mean, Bryce Harper came out after the Pittsburgh series, I think that Sunday game, and was like, "This is outrageous." He went after their throats a little bit. It's just been bad, and you're right. It's probably because we have so much information.
Oh yeah, there was bad umpiring.
I don't doubt that.
They have a tough job. They have a tough job.
They do.
They when you look at the numbers, they pretty much do a very good job. It's just that critical miss at a pivotal time in the game that you just can't miss that call. So, tap your head, challenge it, move on. That would have loaded the bases, right, last night?
First and second was there one out at that point? 2 outs. So it would have been first and second, 2 outs, but a single wins it or ties it.
Right.
Yeah, big play.
Big game-changing call.
We're gonna see a challenge system. I don't know when. I would say maybe sometime 2026. I think they got to, like I said, figure out the consequences. If you don't get it right, figure out how many you get, and just figure out how you're gonna how the player or the bench is gonna enact it, or even the pitchers.